Warm air is blowing out of the vents even though the thermostat says it should be cold. Maybe there's frost creeping up the copper line outside, or a faint hiss near the unit, and it runs all afternoon without catching up while the electric bill climbs. Somebody told you it needs gas, a recharge, a top-off, and they might be right that the refrigerant is low. But here's the part nobody says out loud first. A home air conditioner is not built to need gas, ever. If it's low, something let it out. Refrigerant is not fuel, and that is the whole misunderstanding. Your furnace burns through gas and has to be refilled. Refrigerant works the other way around. The same charge, sealed in the day the system was built, just cycles between the inside coil and the outside one, carrying heat out of the house and coming back for more. It's permanent plumbing, not a fuel tank. So my AC needs gas really has one honest meaning, that the charge is escaping somewhere. Your car is where a lot of the mix-up comes from. A car's air conditioner does lose a little over the years because its compressor rides on a spinning engine with a rotating seal and flexing rubber hoses, and all of that weeps refrigerant slowly. Your house has none of those moving parts. It's sealed copper, brazed shut, built to hold the same charge for 15 or 20 years. So a home system that goes low didn't wear out its refrigerant. It sprang a leak somewhere. On most systems, the hole hides in one spot more than any other, the evaporator coil, the indoor coil your air blows across. That thin copper corrodes and opens pinholes too small to see, and a leaking coil gets replaced, not patched, so it's the expensive one. Other times it's cheap, a worn valve cap or a little Schrader valve. There's one honest exception worth knowing. A brand new system that never cooled right usually isn't leaking. The installer just left it a couple pounds light, and topping it to spec fixes it for good. Every other time, a low charge has a cause, and the cause is a leak. Ask any tech who does this for a living, and they'll say the same. The leak is the repair, the refrigerant is just what goes back in after. A lot of people land here hoping to just do it themselves. You've seen the recharge can at the auto parts store, $30, little gauge on top, screw it on and go. But there's a catch worth knowing. That can holds a refrigerant called R-134A, and it's built for cars only. Your house does not run on it. Central Air runs on R-410A, and every new system built since 2025 uses one of the newer blends, R-454B or R-32. Different fluid, higher pressure, fittings that don't even match, and you can't legally buy it without an EPA license. And there's no $30 house version sitting on a shelf. Doing it right is also not spray until it feels cold, what techs jokingly call beer can cold. A real charge gets weighed in. The tech knows the exact pounds that unit should hold, vacuums the system out, and feeds it in by weight until it hits that number. Overcharging does its own damage. Pump in too much and liquid slams back into the compressor and can kill it. And that's the part that turns a repair into a whole new system. On a running unit with a tank attached, cracking the wrong valve can send high pressure into that can, and those have burst and put people in the hospital. So what does doing it right actually cost? A leak search runs roughly $100 to $300 because someone has to track a pinhole through all that copper. The refill itself on a standard R410A system usually sits in the low hundreds, climbing towards 600 if it lost a lot. You fix the leak first, then refill. Done straight, the whole job often lands under 1,000, maybe 1,500 if the coil is the guilty part. The real trap is an old unit still on R22, the refrigerant they stopped making. That runs $200 to $600 a pound now, and feeding it into a leaking 20-year-old system is throwing good money after bad. On a unit that age, replacing it is the smarter call. Full stop. Matter there's a pattern under all of this that almost nobody gets told about. An AC goes warm in June, a tech tops it off, and it's cold again by the weekend. For a few days, everybody is happy. Then it's warm again in August, warmer earlier the next summer, and now they're paying a couple hundred a year to feed a system that quietly vents it right back into the sky. None of that is maintenance. They're renting cold air while the leak sits there, never found. The opposite quote is just as common. Because the compressor and coil share one box, a low system is easy to turn into you need a whole new unit, $10,000 or $20,000, when the real fault was a leaking valve stem or a coil under warranty. Either way, somebody skipped the cheap step, actually diagnosing it. So if your AC is low, don't call and ask for a recharge, ask for a leak search. A good tech recovers what's left and weighs it so you know how much walked out, finds the leak with dye or a nitrogen test, fixes it, and only then charges the system back to the nameplate number. If the first company out skips straight to selling you a new system, get a second opinion from an independent before you hand over 5 figures for what might be a $400 fix. If you want to hunt the leak yourself first, there's a UV dye kit and a basic gauge set sitting in the description. The gas was never the problem, it's the hole that let it out.